All
Hey,
right,
there we
what's up,
go.
everybody? Welcome to the Mastered for Vinyl podcast. This is an episode like never before. I am not here with Andrew today; he couldn't make it, but I am here with my good friend Russ, also known as Eichlers.
Hey, what's up, Luke?
Not much, man. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. It's fucking hot here, dude. It's
I'm
very hot in
sure,
California.
I'm sure it is, man. We're actually on opposite sides of the country tonight, so that's interesting.
Yeah, that's true. What's the weather like in West Virginia?
It's warm. It's warm, but it's probably not anywhere as warm as you're talking.
Yeah, I
Um,
my wife and I went to lunch and we got in the car and cars always read hotter, but we turn the car and it says 114 and I just go, "Ah!"
Yeah, we're not anywhere near that. So,
That's good. It's fucked. It's so hot here.
oh man, my co-host of this show, my normal co-host Andrew, he lives in Texas, and I know he deals with a lot of that too.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
And he's not a fan of the heat. Who really likes like I know I enjoy good weather, but I don't like just painfully hot weather.
See, I don't I'm like normally like a very sweaty person, so I'm okay with being hot and sweaty, but like it's nice when you can have somewhere to escape to, but like my apartment does not have air conditioning and it is very hot in here. Like I just walked out into the kitchen before we started to fill up my water bottle and just like my fucking hardwood floor is hot. That's not right.
No,
That's
oh man,
I just feel
that's
like
great.
I'm in hell.
Sarcastic, of course. um, so, Eichlers, where do I begin? Do you want to talk about this project? Do you want to kind of give an introduction?
Yeah, sure. So my name
Tell us
is
about it,
Russ.
man.
I also go by Ike. My project is called Eichlers. I've been doing this since about 2016. It's gone through like a bunch of different iterations. It started out acoustic, and then I started playing electric guitar and using a loop pedal and like programming drums, like buying shitty drum machines off Reverb, and then just like running them through the loop pedal and then just singing over those loops. Pretty much, I'm just like trying to play as little guitar as possible in this band. And now when I perform, I don't play guitar at all, and it's awesome.
Yeah, man,
Now,
I've seen the videos of your gig on YouTube, and it's something different. You know, it's really unique.
yeah, thank you. Yeah, I, the first few shows that I played, like with this iteration, I was calling it karaoke core, just because that phrase is so funny. Because just and that also is just like a bit of hedging, It's like people are like that's not a real concert. You're not even playing an instrument. It's like karaoke's hella fun, and it's just
Yeah,
like I created everything at some point in time. You don't have to play everything live all the time in order for it to be like a fun and engaging experience for yourself and for the people watching, right?
yeah, I agree, and especially from seeing the video of your gigs. I mean, it looks like the people there just have a blast.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
The
it's
thing that
just
I like about it is like it just has the same energy as like an underground like punk or hardcore show. It's no different.
totally that's the goal, dude. That's exactly what I'm going for. So that rules. I can't wait to get out and start playing shows again. I haven't played one since March 9th of 2020.
Wow,
Yeah,
it's been that way, man, for a lot of musicians. I'm like I play music. I don't have a band, like an official band yet, but I mean, I
right.
just can't. I can only imagine like COVID with like wiping out just gigs as a whole for a musician. That has got to be just crushing.
Totally. I feel super fortunate to like I've been able to work a consistent job and not rely on music for money. But I know like a lot of people, and I'm sure you're aware of too, a lot of people in like the DIY emo scene that we're both like involved and interested in. Like I remember seeing people a few months before COVID hit just being like, I just quit my job. I'm gonna do music and tour full time. And just those are the first people on my mind when like the pandemic started happening. I was like, that is the worst timing, and it just feels so bad. Like I can't imagine being in that position. You're like, I'm finally doing it. I'm following my dream, and then just like circumstances beyond your control just boom crash down. I can't imagine how that would feel.
It's devastating, man. It's
It
like
sounds brutal.
it's funny because like I think myself and many of my friends and just people I know agree that like it seems like 2020 was the year of planning things, and then COVID happened. Like there were so many things planned.
Absolutely. I was talking to one of my coworkers um the other day. I started a new job pretty recently, and was just getting to know people there, and he was saying that him and his like girlfriend at the time had this big trip planned to Italy or some shit to celebrate their 2 year anniversary, and they were supposed to leave on like March 16th of 2020, like the day the shutdown happened. And then it like started this giant fight between them, and they ended up breaking up because of it.
Oh
Like
wow,
because they couldn't go on this trip.
that is, I mean, that's tragic.
Yeah, right. Weird. Sorry, weird tangent, but just reminded me of that.
Now, at the same time of all of the bad things for musicians with the pandemic, I'm gonna also play kind of the devil's advocate here and say that 2020 was a insanely lively year for music at the same time.
Yeah, definitely. Like if you're looking, I don't even think that's devil's advocate, right? That's just like trying to find a silver lining in
That's right.
the,
That's right.
the terrible thing that the world has been going through. Yeah,
Absolutely.
it was super cool to see how many projects and albums and creativity came out of people being forced to maybe try something that they hadn't done before, or, reevaluate their creativity. I feel like it definitely showed some positivity in that way.
It really did, man. And I enjoyed, I mean, I didn't really buy a ton of these. I watched some of the free ones, but I thought that the live stream gigs, they're fun. They're cool to watch.
I think when you do them right, they can be fun. I remember like at the
Yeah.
beginning of the pandemic, like seeing a bunch of, I'm sure you did too, like people playing acoustic on Instagram, and that was fun for like a couple months, and then you're like, okay, there's got to be like different ways to do this. And now I think live streaming your gig just for like accessibility sake, I feel like that's super important and fun too. Like this that ska band Catbite, who I really like and I'm friends with, they did a live stream of their record release show in Philly, and they had like a multicam thing and had all the bands running through the soundboard, and they hosted it on the Ska Tune Networks channel. And like, I don't live anywhere near Philadelphia, and I felt like I was there just like hanging out in the chat with all my other ska friends and fans and people who also couldn't be at the show. It was cool, and I was just like on my couch drinking a beer, chilling.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it was
I
tight.
mean, that is the definition of convenience, really.
Absolutely.
But like, yeah, like I said, 2020, I feel like there were so many projects that I can't help but wonder, like, these probably wouldn't have existed without the pandemic. They would have toured, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah,
And
that's
like
true.
bands were dropping like so much merch.
Yeah, 2020 was a very good year for merch.
It was, man. Like there were so many albums, and we're gonna get into this a little later, but vinyl records that were out of print and stuff. Bands were repressing some great albums during the pandemic in hopes to get money.
Yeah. Yeah, and
Like so
as
many
a
things were
as a
getting that.
collector, that's a huge silver lining.
It is, man. There were definitely some silver linings. 2020 was my vinyl year as far as really getting into it. Because I mean, what
That's
else can
tight.
you do besides sit at home and order records, right?
Yeah, that's very true. Sit at home and order everything. Might as well build your collection.
Yeah, I was just lightly doing vinyl before that. The 2019 was the year that I really got, into records. My dad, he collected records years ago, but he wasn't like hardcore into that. He just,
Yeah.
he bought like albums that he wanted whenever they came out. 2019, I started buying a few here and there. I got some soundtracks and stuff like that. And 2020 just completely changed all of that. I was buying everything. I
That's
still
awesome.
buy a lot of things, but 2020 was unreal. I'm talking like the mailman knew like what was up.
I see. I Mine was kind of the opposite experience. 2020, I needed some more money, so I sold a bunch of my records. I remember
Right.
like spending like multiple days over the winter just like going through my records again. And I didn't have a lot of records. I've had to sell off a lot over the years just to like fund various touring projects and making rent and shit. So
It
very
happens, man.
very sad experience. But this time it's like, oh, okay, do I really need these? And luckily I was able to make some connections like with some friends on Instagram who like were very interested in some of the records I had. And I was like, these are gonna make like these folks much happier than they make me just like sitting there, me not listening to them. I don't have a turntable anymore. I just have a stack of records that I never play.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
Um, Now I know your prominent area of popularity scene is ska. I would say. but you've got a lot of love in just the overall punk DIY underground scene.
Oh yeah,
I'm
yeah.
seeing your name on more and more articles every day. It's wild.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I like came up in the DIY emo and punk scene. You know, I had like a pop punk band in high school, and then played in kind of an emo band in college, and then more emo bands in college. And then I moved to Salt Lake and played in more emo bands. And played in a hardcore band for 6 months, and then played in more emo bands. And you know,
That's it, man. Like I wasn't like I mean I like ska music, I like ska. Ska punk
I
is
know.
really my thing.
Oh yeah,
But I'm more of a into the Midwest emo revival as a whole.
absolutely. I've
Um,
noticed that.
but like I can remember like on Reddit, the emo Reddit, a legendary subreddit. But
For
I
better or
stay
for
on there.
worse.
Yeah, exactly. I remember starting to see this is how I found out about your work. I may be cute, but I'm dumb. AF, your album. It was showing up. It was leaking its way into the Midwest emo stuff.
That's awesome.
That's, I mean, that was like that album. I think it has a lot of elements of like ska. I think there's definitely some Midwest emo in there in the guitars.
Oh yeah, yeah. That was the idea. Like when I started producing that kind of music, because that stuff was very very heavily influenced by like all the like emo trap, like post Lil Peep stuff. There's that guy 93 Feet of Smoke who I sent you like last week. That person's like my one of my biggest like artistic inspirations behind this project, and they always use like very Midwest emo-y guitars. I have you delved into any more of their music?
No, not besides the track that you sent me. That was the
Okay,
one that
I'll
sampled American football, right?
yeah, dude. They,
Dude, that was so cool.
yeah, that song rocks. I think that was the first one I heard where I was like, "Whoa, wait, what?" I'll make you a playlist. You gotta hear some more of this stuff. You're gonna love it. But
Absolutely, man.
yeah, just seeing like those kind of artists flip like Midwest emo samples, or just like have the like twinkly noodly guitars, but just like with the like trap and hip hop production was just so cool. And I was like, what if I do that, but I also combine it with pop punk and ska? So like the impetus was like in one ear you'll have a ska guitar, and then in the other ear you'll have like a twinkly Midwest emo guitar, and then you have the fucking trap hi hats and the 808s and all that shit too, and it's just like
Yeah,
one one
dude.
one big poppy emo blob.
Dude, the variety on this record that you've put out is unreal.
Thank
Like
you.
the opening track, Talk Dumb, Get the Thumb. That's my favorite, by the way.
Really? That
Yeah, I love
that
it.
rules. Hell
I
yeah.
think it's cool how that like the opening track has the super Midwest riff. You know the one I'm talking about.
It's actually I don't even know if I should. It's actually like an Eve 6 riff. Do you like
Right.
Eve 6?
I'm not too familiar.
Oh, that is a shame. They got some they've fallen off big time, but whoo, the middle two Eve 6 records, Horoscope and It's All in Your Head, chef's kiss. Like pop punk masterpieces.
Dude, you're gonna have to make a Spotify playlist and just like we got to call it like Eichlers Mastered for Vinyl podcast recommendation playlist or something like that. Because I'm sure all of the people listening to this right now are gonna want to hear all this.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
That would
I
be so
will I
sick.
will hang up.
Um,
But sorry, I like totally interrupted you. I'm sorry, Luke.
no, you're good, man. You're good. That's what this is for, man. But I thought it was interesting that the first song has that, and then the second song, "Wow, Rude." That's the second song, right?
Yeah.
It goes straight into a straight ska riff.
Yep.
I
I
think
wanted to
that
keep
is like that's awesome. And
yeah,
like,
I don't oh, sorry. Go ahead.
no, you're good. I actually didn't have anything to say. I
Oh,
was
okay.
just stalling, really.
Oh, word. Yeah, I don't know how you like feel about track sequencing, but that's just what a way to start a statement. But I was just feel like so let me tell you about track sequencing. I always just feel like the second song on a record, especially like a pop punk or emo record, I feel like that's where you're supposed to like kick it into gear. So I was like, okay, I have this like intro, like very fun kind of pop punky emo song, and then just boom, hit him with the ska. They won't. No one will see it coming.
No, dude, it's so interesting that you mentioned that because I have always, especially for the past few years, thought that a track 2 on an album has got to be strong. It
It's
has
got
to
to
be.
be strong.
It has to
And
be
I mean,
because somebody can like the first track on a record, but the second track's got to keep them wanting more.
absolutely. And the first track can go either way. It can be like, big, bombastic, like, ta-da, here's the album, like, or it can be like kind of a slow burner, like think about fucking Home Like No Place Is There. That obviously
Oh man,
introduction to the album, good ass intro track, slow burner, and then the scope of all this rebuilding, I think is the second song on there.
it
And
is.
that
It
just
definitely
like
is.
kicks it right into gear even after like how much like an introduction to the album builds. Like that song, the intro riff hits and you're like, okay, here we go. That's like, you're sitting on a roller coaster at Disneyland and the fucking bar comes up and hits you in the chest and like make sure you can't get out of the roller coaster. That's what a good track 2 should do, I think.
Dude, that is such a perfect record.
It's so good. I can't listen
It's
to it. It
so
makes me so fucking sad, dude.
it's a sad album. It's very sad. I've seen them play. I've watched many live videos of Hotelier, and like they almost always open their sets with those first 2 songs from the record in order.
Yeah.
So like that
There's
says it all.
there's a reason. Yeah.
That's the intro to their sound as a whole.
Absolutely.
So I think that that's interesting that you bring that up about track 2. It's gotta be it's gotta be strong. And like even like the Hotelier, I like how a track 1 on an album can be almost like kind of like a build up, and then it really kicks into track 2.
Absolutely.
So yeah, and the last song on a record I think has got to be pretty strong.
Yeah. I there's been a couple records that I would say I like. Of course, as I say this, none of them come to mind, but that end on like an acoustic track or something soft. But I feel like having a big ending or something that's really emotional or something, I feel like that's the way you got to end a record.
Absolutely, yeah,
And
for
like
sure.
you can do it with something soft, but it's not, obviously it's not the same effect. And I don't think it makes for as good of an album or as good of like, imagine something ends on like a soft acoustic song or like God damn it, like we were talking about the other day, because that ends with whatever that last Matt Skiba acoustic song, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, and that's,
I don't remember what it's called.
I know, it's on the tip of my tongue.
It's such a good album.
Is it Sorry About That? It's something like
It
that
might
sense.
be.
Anyway, yeah. Yeah, it's just like that. It's a really good closer for that album, but you flip the record over and you go from that into Cringe, and it just like, it doesn't work so well like on like
No,
for repeat listens, I don't think, when you end
dude,
an album with something that soft. I don't know.
Cringe
That's just
is
me.
is one of my favorite Alkaline Trio songs. It's so cool.
It's I have a really bad opinion about Cringe. Do you want to hear it?
Yes, I do. I really do.
It's so long. It doesn't need to be that long.
It is long. It is long,
It's
man.
too long for an intro song.
It is, and that's back to sequencing. Like, I think it's interesting that we're talking about like album sequencing. It's perfect for this channel anyway. Um, like I think a record can suffer from being too long.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I
An
don't
album that I like a lot. This is completely not about the genres we're talking about, but "Melancholy" by Smashing Pumpkins.
I've
Um,
never been able to make it through that album, but
dude,
yeah.
the album is great. I mean, really, every song is great, but it is over 2 hours long.
What? For
Yeah,
real?
yeah.
Like the like non-deluxe anniversary edition, like
I'm
the
fairly
original.
sure. I'm fairly sure. Let me check. I'm gonna look that up really quick because I'm just curious now. But I'm pretty sure
Because I
that's
was
that's Melancholy album runtime. Um, well, 28
I was like,
songs.
that is a power move if you
No, okay. The normal album's
like
an hour and 21. So there's a deluxe that's 2 hours and something.
an hour and a half is still very long for an album.
It is. It
I feel like,
is. I think like an album
but
can have
maybe
so many perfect songs, but can't you eventually get bored of just listening to that band for that long?
yeah. But do you think I always like wonder how much of that, especially with albums that are like that record's 25 years old, right? Something like that. Like, do you think that like speaks to our attention spans these days, or do you think people felt that way in like 1995 or whenever that record came out? Like, do you think
Yeah.
people got that and they were like, damn, the shit's an hour and a half long, I don't know about this?
Yeah, that's an interesting point actually. I feel like I watch like just some videos about albums all the time, and like albums over time have gotten shorter,
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
like to some degree anyway. So
I feel like,
that's like attention span, like you said. That's
yeah,
interesting.
I feel like they're kind of getting longer again. I remember like 2013 to I want to say 2017. I feel like every band, at least in like the emo, punk, DIY, whatever scene, I feel like every band was releasing like a 10-song album, like 8 to 10 songs and calling it an album. And now people are releasing kind of more, at least just, I'm talking just purely like number of tracks, right? I feel like people are going like back to 90s punk aesthetic, like people dropping 16, 17 song albums. And it's really interesting because I would think that it wouldn't have gone like to like longer, in
Yeah,
the past few years. I feel like they would have continued to get shorter, you know what I mean?
for sure, man. I speaking of that older era of punk, as you know, I recently got in the mail my MXPX vinyl box set.
Yeah, that shit's so
Um,
cool,
the
dude.
the entire career of MXPX, which is wild. It's cool to have it all in one package. But what I was referring to is like the older records, especially like Teenage Politics and Life in General, have 18 and 19 tracks.
Yeah, well, and every
Well,
now
they
and
are
then
short.
oh yeah, yeah, they're all punk songs. But even then, like how short is short? Like 2.5 minutes is like a quote unquote short punk song back in 1995,
Yeah.
right?
Nowadays,
Like
a short
that's
punk song is under a minute.
yeah, or like a minute and 10 seconds is like a short punk song. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah, dude.
half. Yeah,
Like Ryan Ellery,
yeah,
his band Greyhound. Are you familiar with that?
yeah. Ryan actually uses they them pronouns, by the way, just so you know.
Oh, okay, okay. I'm glad you let me know that.
Yeah, no worries.
Ryan's awesome though.
Yeah, Ryan
Um,
rules.
but like the length of those songs are not long at
No.
all. But it's so cool. Like it just gets me so pumped.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, and I mean I feel like that's to be expected with that kind of genre because they're like more of like a hardcore band. So short songs are par
Yeah.
for the course, right?
I saw that gig at the skate park. Did you see that?
I saw like a couple videos on their Instagram and I was like, whoa, this looks sick.
So cool. So cool.
Yeah.
It's cool to see shows back to some
Totally.
degree.
It,
To some
it
degree.
seems like hardcore shows are coming back like with a stronger presence, at least like in my corner of life and the internet and the things I'm seeing. I see way more like flyers for hardcore shows and videos of hardcore shows than I am pop punk or emo or ska or anything. It just seems like all the hardcore kids are like, "Yep, we're back. Let's do it."
Oh, dude, yeah. My dad is actually a huge hardcore fan. He's into a lot of like the newer hardcore bands. Like, um, I don't know. I'm not. It's not really my scene exactly. I mean, I dig it, but it's just I'm not as knowledgeable about it. But
Yeah, for sure.
like Knocked Loose and all that. Um,
Oh yeah, I don't like that stuff at all.
I like Knocked Loose. All right. I mean, I like some of the records, but I'm not like a huge fan of Knocked Loose as a whole. But there's a record or two that I like. But he watches the videos, and there's like shows going on like daily, and they're like these like outdoor like parking lot shows.
Yeah,
It's
it's
awesome.
it's so sick.
It really
Oh,
is,
what
man.
was oh sorry, I like wanted to say something back to like um album lengths. Every now and then I like remember that Rancid's and Out Come the Wolves is 19 songs long, and it just blows my mind.
Now that is a great record.
It's really good, and it doesn't feel like there's 19 fucking songs on it. It feels like
No,
there's 13 maybe at
yeah,
most.
I own that album, and it's only one LP,
What?
just one LP. Yeah,
No. Really?
yeah. I'm
That's
99%
shocking.
sure.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm almost sure it's not a two LP.
That's wild.
It is. I haven't spun that one in a while, but I'm glad you mentioned it. I'm gonna spin it soon. It's a great album.
Yeah, I was gonna go on a jog tonight, and I'll probably listen to that. I'm glad that this came
It's
up in conversation too.
it's the first ska punk album I ever heard, probably.
I remember hearing Time Bomb for the first time in the theater with my parents watching Fun with Dick and Jane. Did you see that movie? That Jim Carrey movie from like the early 2000s?
I have not. I don't even think
Oh,
I've heard of
okay.
that.
Oh, word. It's okay. The movie's okay. But Time Bomb by Rancid's in it, and I remember like this was probably shortly after I got into ska. And I remember turning to my mom and I was like, "Who does this song?" She's like, "Oh, I think it's the Specials." Which is really funny now because obviously we all know who it is, but
Oh man, that's a song that transcends the genre because like
oh yeah.
I can be riding in the car with like friends who I know don't know anything about punk or anything, and I can play that song. They're like, I know this song.
Oh yeah. That's it's so good. It's timeless. A time bomb, if you will.
Yeah, it's a time bomb. It's a timeless time bomb.
It's a timeless time bomb. You heard it here first.
If you guys were expecting like a super like uh what's the word, like professional interview, this is not it because Ike and I
Nope.
are just gonna just goof around all night. That's the truth.
That's it's kind of my thing.
That's the other thing that I like about the current era of DIY and punk is everything is so laid back and funny, and no one takes themselves too seriously.
Yeah, which is really cool.
I think the best part of everything now is song titles, to be honest.
Oh my god. I feel like I've come full circle on like goofy song titles.
How
I
so?
remember when I was in college, yeah, I played in a band called Kill the Bats. And I was like every song needs to have some long ridiculous title that has nothing to do with any of the lyrics in the song or anything the song is about. And I just like swore by that. At the time, I was also a huge Sprainerd fan, so that definitely helped. That's
Sprainerd is
definitely
so
what like,
cool.
oh, they're so cool. That's my first tattoo. I have like the little heart with an exclamation mark in it on my right thigh.
Dude, really? That's
Yeah,
awesome.
dude. I love
I did
Sprainerd.
not know that.
Yeah, I was on
Um,
I have some friends who do a podcast called the Lousy Advice Podcast. It's actually their band's podcast. Their band is called Lousy Advice, and they do this song draft thing, which is essentially a fantasy football draft, but you're drafting from an artist's like catalog. And so there's three people in that band, and they have a guest on, and then every episode they choose a band. Like for example, they invited me to be on the Sprainerd episode, so everyone picked their like top 10 favorite Sprainerd songs, and then every person gets assigned like a spot in the top 10 list, and essentially you just go around and argue with each other about which songs belong in the all-time top 10 best Sprainerd songs, for example.
right. That's
And it
awesome.
was it was really fun and just like got me to revisit a band that I'd spent so much time listening to when I was a young adult, and just that band was so good. They were so good.
Man, I have fond memories of Sprainerd, and the reason being is because like whenever I was first learning about and getting into like the current scene, I was watching Little Elephant sessions all the time and learning about
Yeah.
bands.
I
I watched them
forgot about
play
Little Elephant. Oh my god.
Applebee's Bar on Little Elephant. That's such a great song.
It's such a good song. That record like grew on me big time. It came out like a little bit too after the fact, like after my probably peak of interest in Sprainerd. So I was kind of on the decline when that record came out, and I was like, man, this is cool, but it's not as good as their old stuff. And then revisiting it a couple months ago, like to do that podcast, I was like, wow, this is great. This is some like next level songwriting for this band.
It is, man. Such a
And
good album.
it's so good.
Such a solid band. And yeah, Little Elephant sessions, man. I got to give Little Elephant a lot of credit for introducing me to a lot of bands.
Is that how you found out about Mom Jeans?
It is. It definitely is.
Wild. Okay, that's cool.
Well, I'll tell you an interesting story about that because I know you are somewhat close to Mom Jeans
Yeah, they're my
personally,
friends.
um, which is so cool. My co-host who's not here, Andrew, would completely nerd out over that. He's been on a huge Mom Jeans kick lately.
Oh, that rules.
He's more into old school emo, and I showed him Mom Jeans, and he sends me videos daily listening to Death Cup.
That's wild.
He sent a video like the other day in his car, like auxing to the speakers, and he did the scream during the da 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 ah. But
Love
yeah,
it.
I
Big
saw
fan.
Mom Jeans on Little Elephant, and of course I loved it. So dope. One of my favorite bands now. But I watched Graduating Life Session, and I was like, wait a minute. I was like, that's the same people from Mom Jeans, just rearranged. And I was like, yeah, this Bart dude, he can write lyrics.
Oh my god. How do you feel about that new Grad Life record?
Oh, dude, I love it. It's so cool.
I honestly I kind of forgot about it. I listened to it all day when it came out and I was like, this is great. And then, attention spans again. I think a band I like probably released something the next day and I was like, oh cool, this. And then actually just yesterday I remembered that record came out and revisited it and it's still great. It's so good.
Oh, oh, dude, it's so good, man. It's like Bart only evolves with each album.
For real. Yeah, the stuff he's making just I remember like seeing him play for the first time. Well, so one of my bands in Salt Lake played with Meet Me in Montauk in like 2017 or something, and that was when I first met Bart. Even though we'd been around each other like in 2015 probably, just like at shows when they'd come up from Fresno to play the Bay Area. But met I lived in Salt Lake, and then I remember seeing Good Life on his first as that band, and it kind of sounded like Mom Jeans emo, and then you compare that to like album 2 or whatever, 2 or whatever this record's called, and it's just like the progression is wild,
Dude, it's
completely different sound, but still such good songwriting.
it is, man. It I remember that single called In the Back.
Yeah.
That video is so dope.
Oh yeah.
I think Jay Crum, Joel, did the artwork for that, right?
I'm not sure. I don't.
I don't know
I
that
don't know.
for sure, but I just remember it kind of looked in the style, at least, of Jay Crum.
Probably.
But yeah, Grad Life, man. I have Intro to Rock and Roll, the first record on vinyl. That's a fun album. It's not anywhere near as technical as these, but I think it's a fun album.
Yeah.
Cold Raviolis is the hit, I guess.
It is the hit. I was on their Spotify and that's just like got 1 million plays, and I'm just like, really? That's wild.
So besides Bart, is anyone in Grad Life consistently a member?
I think Sam is officially in Grad Life.
Yeah, Sam does a lot of the backing vocals. That's true.
Yeah, I'm like 90% sure Sam plays bass. I feel like Eric isn't. I don't know. I just know it is Bart and then mostly Sam as well.
I remember Eric.
I have no idea like what their like live show would look like. I would imagine it's just Mom Jeans, but Bart singing all the songs instead of Eric. That's my guess.
I would think so. I remember the music video for what's it called? Family Reunion from a couple years ago. Eric's playing guitar, Austin's drumming, Sam's playing bass. So it's pretty much Mom Jeans.
Okay, yeah, it sounds like it.
I love that self-titled record with the flag on the front.
Oh, it sounds just like my chem. It's so sick.
It does, dude. On the song Family Reunion, when Rihanna sings, it's so cool.
I love Brianda. Big fan.
Rihanna's awesome. Just Friends is one of those bands that's also became pretty important to me over the past year. Such a cool band.
They're so good. They're so good. And they're so sweet. They're such nice folks.
They are, man. I'm pretty sure they're supposed to be mailing me sunflower seeds, something like that.
Oh yeah, yeah. I was supposed to get mine like last week, and I get this like weird email on my phone that shows me the mail I'm going to get for that day. Do you have that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've never had it before until I moved into this apartment. And I saw like a letter on that email like from Honey TV, and I was like, oh, fun. I wonder what this is, and just like went to open my mailbox later, and it just wasn't there, and it's been like almost a week now. So I think it's just gone. So I'm pretty bummed.
Oh no, that's sad.
I'll just have to go to the shop and steal some sunflower seeds.
And while we're here on this subject, I figured we could talk a little bit about Honey TV.
Oh hell yeah!
Which is something else that's really, really blown up over the past year.
Yeah, no kidding. I feel like
Honey TV is a clothing brand, I guess, at its core.
Yeah, it's really weird to say that and hear someone say that, but it is like absolutely true. I just
Yeah,
like I maybe it's just because I'm like so close to it and so close to those folks, but like hearing it talked about as a clothing brand is very strange.
it is. It is, and like I occasionally speak to Sam. Sam's a busy fella, and
He
I
is the busiest guy. Oh my god.
but it's so it's so cool how Sam is doing. I mean, dude, mom jeans, just friends, grad life, running a clothing company, and he still takes time to speak to people. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, he's Sam is one of my heroes. Absolutely. That dude is
Sam is goaded.
nothing but inspiring.
Absolutely. Um, so Honey TV being a clothing brand also has a very close ties to the underground emo and punk scene as far as doing merch for bands and artists.
Oh yeah, big
Um,
time.
Mom Jeans has a lot of merch on their website. Also worth noting, it's almost all, if not all, sold out.
Yeah, it doesn't
uh,
last very long
just
when they
friends
put up
merch
anything.
and Eichlers merch,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
which I thought would be interesting to talk about. That was it pretty cool to see the shirts whenever they were in person and all that, and seeing people post them on Instagram and whatnot.
Yeah, it was so cool. The first time I like saw one cuz I didn't get one and I didn't order one for myself. That first like white shirt that has me on it. Um I was at I was at my parents' house. My parents live like an hour north of where I live now, and I went to their house, and I guess USPS lost the shirt that my mom ordered,
Oh
and
no.
so Honey TV sent her like a 3X and a small, which was I guess the only two sizes that they had left. And my mom made like a pillow out of the 3X shirt. So I walk into their house and there's like little cartoon Ike on a pillow. I'm just like, this is so cool.
I love that cartoon shirt, the white one. That's one that I missed out on. I was late on even considering grabbing one, and
Yeah,
by the time that they had went on like sale that day, there was just no chance on the XL.
yeah, we did like a very limited pre-order.
As a guy that wears XL shirts, I can tell you for a fact that that's always, if not like second to the first shirt size to sell out. Always.
Interesting. Yeah, I feel like
XL
medium
and
and
L.
large seems like
Yeah,
I've
medium is pretty hot too.
yeah.
It's
Smalls last a while. From like
it's
being
like
in
anytime
bands
I
and
look.
selling merch for a while. It's like, yeah, you always have
Yeah.
smalls left.
Well, I work. Yeah, my main job is at
Oh yeah,
a
that's
shirt
right.
pressing warehouse, and whenever places like sports teams or just anywhere orders like a order of shirts, it's medium, large, and extra large. There's so many uh, sizes that they order in those, and like just a few smalls and 3X and stuff like that.
Yeah, wild.
Interesting to see insight on that end of things
Oh yeah.
because
Yeah,
these
I'm sure
people
you
have been
definitely
selling shirts for a while, I guess, so they know what to sell and how many to sell.
yeah.
But I saw that new Eichler shirt, or new. It's not really new anymore, but the one that's your profile picture on the stream, the Nike Rip one.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure
Yeah,
XLs are still in
the
stock on that one. I'm gonna have to get
Ike.
on that. Ike, yes,
Uh,
that one made. I think I like the cartoon version of you shirt better, but I think this one is far more clever as far as this.
yeah, Sam was asking me if I wanted to do another shirt with Honey TV, and I was like, yeah, of course, totally. And then he asked me if I had any ideas, and I was like, I don't know about this one, but like, wouldn't it be hella funny if it's just like a rip off of the Nike SB logo, but we just take the N off? And he's like, bro, that's so funny.
Sometimes
And I was
less
like,
is more. Less is really more.
yeah, I think so. I'm probably gonna press some stickers, not of that, but I have another kind of rip off idea that I think people are gonna really like.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
That's Joel did the art on that, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's
Because
Jake from
it's
the
not
show.
just like a font rip. I mean, that's got the ska checkered board going on the inside. It's got a lot of work put into it.
Yeah, that's what I told Sam and Joel. I was like, let's do that, but instead of just like flat black, just fill it with checkers. And they're like, okay. and
And like,
now it's ska.
yeah, and like the profile picture, I don't remember for sure. It's on a pink shirt too, right?
Yeah, it's salmon or watermelon, I believe. Yeah,
Nice.
apparently they're having the company that provides the shirts to Honey TV is having a hard time like getting them in stock. So it's
Oh,
definitely.
that's nothing new to me, man.
Oh
As
yeah,
far as
I'm
shirts,
sure you know. Yeah.
being in the end of manufacturing,
Oh
it's
yeah.
absolutely insane how it is to get things in stock right now as far as like blank shirts.
Is that because of COVID?
Um, I don't know, but anywhere is going to say that as a quote unquote excuse, I guess.
Sure.
It may be an excuse or it absolutely may not be. I can't confirm that because I don't know.
Yeah.
But from what it sounds like, because this is going on in vinyl records too, are being constantly delayed because of the pressing plants apparently are having a hard time.
Yeah,
Um,
that's a whole thing.
it's a whole that could be an entire episode of this podcast, to be honest. But they're saying that it's the thing isn't like the process of manufacturing them; it's getting the product from overseas to here is what's taking a long time. I don't know how
Oh,
or why.
interesting.
Like with vinyl records, it's PVC that's hard to get right now.
What is that?
It's the like pellets that they use to press into a vinyl record.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, have you ever watched like videos of vinyl records being pressed?
No, never.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to send you a clip of that. It's mesmerizing, especially like the splatters and swirl colored LPs.
Ooh, yeah, I bet that's hella cool.
It is, and I figure, yeah, we've reached the 40-minute ish mark. We'll wrap it up here in a second. I don't want this to drag on too long, take up too much of your time. Um, but I figured for this podcast in particular, being about vinyl, I thought it'd be cool if we closed and you talked a little bit about the new Skatoon Network release on vinyl, which features you.
Yeah, yeah, I still gotta buy a copy.
So counterintuitive does not give you a free one. I take it.
No, I have no dealings with Jake or counterintuitive.
Ah, that's
That
a
is,
shame, but it's still
I'm purely
awesome.
on the record because I am friends with Jer. Yeah, I mean, I didn't even know it was going to be on vinyl. If that puts it into perspective
Oh,
for you,
okay, okay.
I didn't even know it was going to be on an album. Jer was just like, "Do you want to sing a verse on this Charlie XCX cover?" And I was like, "I'll do anything for you, Jer."
Skatoon
And,
Network is so cool.
uh,
Uh,
it's the coolest, and Jer is just like they're like the greatest human.
oh man, yeah.
They're so
Like I
cool.
remember seeing their covers on YouTube years ago. So cool, so
Yeah.
different, and like it's not like a direct, just like a format cover. Like they take it and make it their own.
Oh yeah, they're so creative and inventive, and they've always got just like off the beaten path ideas. But yeah, they asked me to do that Charlie XCX cover, and then they told I found out through RB, who is AKA Get Tough, who is also on a couple songs on the record. They told me that it was going to be on an album, and then I messaged Jared and I was like, "I'm going to be on a Skatoon Network record," and they're like, "Oh, I didn't tell you, lol." And then um, someone in this ska Discord I'm in found the Burn the Billboard vinyl on Amazon or something. Like they saw it listed on the Amazon site and they were like, "Did you know about this?" And I was like, "Nope." And then Counterintuitive announced it like a couple weeks later, and I was like, "Wow, wild!" But
I'm
yeah, I'm
I'm
just
gonna pick
stoked.
that
I've
up.
never. Yeah, you got to pick it up. Pick it up.
There's a
Pick it up.
there, there's a solid ska reference right there within that, and I'm glad you caught that.
Like I don't really buy records anymore. I'm broke and I need the money.
Yeah,
But I've also never been on a vinyl record before, so this is a huge first for me. So I gotta own this.
you got to pick it up, and at
I
that
gotta pick it up.
you've got to pick up the white and purple swirl one.
That it is the coolest one. It is the coolest variant.
It is. I'm looking at it right now. This cover art's so cool, man.
Oh my god. I've that's like the toughest I've ever looked. I'm just like holding a chain. It's crazy.
the long blonde hair, the facial hair, holding a chain with
Holding a
flames.
chain.
I think that this. I don't know why this isn't your profile picture on Instagram.
That is a good fucking point, Luke. I
We've
might have
got.
to change that.
I think so. The color variants. Oh, okay. So one of them sold out already. Oh no.
Is it
Oh
the
no
good
no
one?
no. No, it's not sold out yet.
Oh,
Which
sick.
I'm
Okay.
surprised. The one that sold out is the opaque violet.
Interesting.
Opaque. Okay, I think that was the lowest one. No, that one. There's 500 on opaque violet. It's interesting that that was the first one to sell out. 300 translucent grape and 200 on candy floss splatter.
And that's the cool one.
That's the one. I'm gonna have to get on
Candy.
that.
Yeah, I thought you already bought one.
I did not yet. I've been like, I bought a ton of records from Jake from Counterintuitive. As you know, I got all those like test pressings and
Oh,
stuff.
that's right. Yeah. Yeah. Did
Uh,
you have any luck unloading any of those?
yeah, I got rid of all of them pretty quick.
Oh, hell yeah. That rules.
I paid back the entire bundle and got to keep everything that I got for free.
Yo, that rules.
I got like all those albums and the test pressings and didn't have to actually sell anything. I just sold off the extras and I didn't lose a dime on any of those records.
Damn, dude, you're good at this. That
It's-
rules.
Yeah. The only thing that makes me super nervous, I don't like selling records a lot because of how I get really nervous about like packing them right and when people get them in the mail if they're going to be damaged.
Oh, dude, I feel that 100%. In December, I think, sometime last winter, I sold my copy of Brockhampton's Ginger for $200 to someone on Discogs, and that is the most time I've ever spent packing anything to be mailed. I was just
Oh,
like,
yeah.
this person gave me so much money for this record. I cannot let this get fucked up in the mail. And it made it safely. They like sent me messages like, it's perfect. Thank you so much. And I was like, I can eat for a week. Thank you.
It's perfect. That's perfect right there.
Yeah.
I'm
but
going to link. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say I feel that anxiety about shipping records because they're not very sturdy. They scratch and break and warp so easily.
They do. And the jackets ding so easily.
Oh yeah, and that's a big thing. Yeah.
It's almost a given whenever I get a record in the mail that it's going to have like a seam split or a corner ding. And I'm not like picky, super picky. Obviously, I don't want my records to be like jacked up.
Oh yeah.
But like, I'm not going to email the label if there's like a tiny ding. It's just not I'm not going to freak out about that.
And honestly, when it's I was gonna say when it's like a small label, like if you're ordering from Jake or ordering from Asian Man or something, like you don't want to be that person, like at all. You don't want to be like, the corner's bent on my Alkaline Trio record. Can I have a full refund? And you're like, no, fuck you.
It's tougher whenever it's somebody running an indie label. I agree.
Yeah. But
Amazon, I don't feel as bad at all.
yeah, that's true. And like if you're buying from a major label, I feel like those people don't give a shit about how their records go out. Same thing with Amazon. Like they don't care. Like
A buddy of mine named John, he ordered a Rob Zombie record from Amazon. I remember it was Rob Zombie just because of the picture. They sent him the record, and I'm not exaggerating here. Just in the shrink wrap with the shipping label just slapped on the record. No packing around the record.
no way.
Yeah, just the label just on the record itself. I'm not even kidding.
That's crazy.
Like just on the outside of the shrink wrap.
That's like that's just waiting for something to get fucked up.
Yeah. So I'm going to link this Burn the Billboard Skytoon Network record in the link to this video. By the time that you guys are watching it and it's public, it should be there to buy. You should still be able to get the Candy Floss variants unless me and Ike go buy them all. But before
there's only 2 copies left and we both buy one after the stream. It's like, suck it.
you never know. That's how
You
things
never know.
are.
It could happen.
Before we close tonight, is there anything else you want to shout out or promote or anything you want to say? Hold on, my microphone. I think my microphone cut out for a second. I'm sorry.
Completely lost you. I did not hear anything you just said.
Oh no. Okay, I'm sorry. That was my bad. My internet. It's either my internet or my microphone that's acting kind of like jacked up. But what I was going to say was just, did you have anything else you wanted to close out with or promote, or just anything you wanted to say?
When is this going live?
Tomorrow,
Tomorrow. Oh, cool.
Saturday the 29th. Or
Sunday.
Sunday the 29th, my
Okay,
bad.
cool. Hell yeah. Yeah, just head over to the Counterintuitive website, buy a copy of Burn the Billboard. Head over to the Honey TV site, buy my Ike T-shirt. Um, Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok at Eichlers, EICHLERS __, and also on Spotify. I've started doing like a radio show, like a little music and talk show where I pick my 10 favorite songs every week and I tell a little story about each of them or how I heard about those artists and connect it to things in my life. I like talking about all my favorite things, and I might have something new. So if you're hearing about me for the first time and you head over and you like what you hear, give me a follow because there's a lot more coming.
Guys, if you aren't listening to Eichlers, I'm going to go ahead and say you should be. Because if you listen to this podcast, I imagine you like pop punk and emo and, ska like Andrew and I. So you're going to need to check that out. Ike, I would like to say once again, if I didn't already say it, thank you so much for joining me tonight, man. I really appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you for having me. This was so fun and it was so good to talk to you, Luke.
It's so fun, man. And I think, just to say, I think we might have to do this again sometime, honestly.
I'm not opposed to it. This was a good
Absolutely.
time.
For sure. Thank you guys for listening. Andrew and I will be back. I know it's been a while since we did a normal show, but we should be back sometime soon. But yeah, thanks, guys. We'll see you.